Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media, seeing all these people with their fancy cars, exotic vacations, and designer clothes, and thinking, man, if only I had that, I'd be happy? I know I have. We live in a world that's constantly screaming at us, more money, more followers, more stuff. We're on this endless treadmill, chasing a carrot on a stick that always seems just out of reach. We believe that the next purchase, the next promotion, the next thing will be the one that finally brings us happiness. But what if I told you we're looking in the completely wrong place? What if the key to a truly fulfilling life isn't about getting more, but about finding peace? Today, I want to share a story with you. It's not my story, but it's a story that completely changed my perspective on what it means to be successful and happy. It's a classic tale about a fisherman and a businessman. And maybe you've heard it before, but I want you to listen with fresh ears. Imagine a wealthy businessman, dressed in a sharp suit, on vacation in a small coastal village. He's taking a break from his high-stress, 80-hour work weeks. One afternoon, he's walking along the pier and sees a local fisherman docking his small boat. Inside the boat are a few large, beautiful fish. The businessman is impressed. He strikes up a conversation. "That's a fine catch," he says. How long did it take you to get those?" The fisherman, relaxed and smiling, replies, "Oh, not too long, just a little while." The businessman, always thinking in terms of efficiency and profit, gets curious. "Why don't you stay out longer and catch more fish?" he asks. The fisherman looks at him, a bit puzzled, and says, "But I have enough to feed my family for today." The businessman scoffs. "But imagine what you could do if you caught more. With the extra money, you could buy a bigger boat." The fisherman asks, "And then what?" Well, the businessman continues, getting excited. "With a bigger boat, you could catch even more fish. You could hire a crew. Soon you could have a whole fleet of boats. You could open your own cannery, control the product, the processing, the distribution. You'd move out of this small village and into the city, then maybe even expand internationally. You'd be a millionaire." He leans back, proud of his brilliant plan. The fisherman is quiet for a moment, letting it all sink in. Then he asks a simple question. "And then what?" The businessman is a little taken aback. "Then what? Then comes the best part. When the time is right, you'd sell your company, become incredibly rich, and retire." "Retire?" the fisherman asks. "And what would I do then?" The businessman smiles triumphantly. "Then," he says, "you could move to a small coastal village, sleep in late, fish a little, play with your kids, take a nap with your wife in the afternoon, and spend your evenings strolling in the village, playing guitar with your friends." The fisherman looks at the businessman, smiles his warm, gentle smile, and says, "But isn't that what I'm doing right now?" That story hits hard, doesn't it? It's so simple, yet so profound. The businessman was spending his entire life, sacrificing his health, his time, and his relationships, all to achieve a goal that the fisherman was already living. It makes you stop and think. How many of us are like that businessman? We are working ourselves to the bone, stressed out, anxious, chasing a future version of happiness that we think can only be bought with more money, more success, and more things. We tell ourselves, "I'll relax when I get that promotion. I'll spend more time with my family once I've saved up enough. I'll be happy when I can finally afford that dream house." We're constantly postponing our peace. We're putting our happiness on hold, thinking it's a destination we'll arrive at someday. But peace isn't a destination. It's a state of being. It's available to us right here, right now. The fisherman understood this. He didn't need a fleet of boats or a multi-million-dollar company. He had found his enough. He had everything he needed for a rich, fulfilling life, time with his family, connection with his community, and the simple joy of doing what he loved. His life wasn't about accumulation, it was about appreciation. This isn't to say that ambition is bad or that having money is wrong. Not at all. The problem isn't money or success itself. The problem is when we tie our entire sense of self-worth and happiness to them. It's when the pursuit of more becomes an obsession that robs us of the present moment. We get so focused on climbing the ladder that we forget to look around and enjoy the view. We become so busy making a living that we forget to make a life. So how do we break free from this more is better mindset? How do we find our own version of the fisherman's peace? It starts with a shift in perspective. It starts with gratitude. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, we can start appreciating what we do have. Take a moment right now. Think about 3 things you're grateful for. It could be the roof over your head, the food in your fridge, a friend who makes you laugh, the feeling of the sun on your skin. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to see the abundance that already exists in our lives. The next step is to define what enough means for you. This is a deeply personal question. What do you truly need to live a happy and meaningful life? Not what society tells you to want, not what your friends have, but what you, in your heart, truly need. Maybe it is less about a specific income and more about having the freedom to pursue a hobby you love. Maybe it's about having enough time and energy to be present with your children. When you define your enough, you create your own finish line. You stop running an endless race and give yourself permission to enjoy the journey. This also involves practicing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. The fisherman wasn't worried about tomorrow's catch or yesterday's storm. He was fully engaged in the now. We often live in our heads, worrying about the future or regretting the past. But life is happening right now. The taste of your morning coffee, the sound of birds outside your window, the feeling of a hug from a loved one. These are the small, beautiful moments that make up a life. By paying attention to them, we find joy and peace in the ordinary. Finding peace doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means changing the why behind them. Are you chasing a goal because you think it will make you happy? Or are you chasing it from a place of passion and purpose, enjoying the process regardless of the outcome? The fisherman loved fishing. The process itself brought him joy. That's the key. Find what you love, do it with passion, and let go of the attachment to a specific result. The joy is in the doing, not just in the getting. I want to challenge you today. Take a look at your life. Are you the businessman, or are you the fisherman? Are you constantly chasing more, or have you found your peace? It's never too late to change course. You don't need to quit your job and move to a coastal village, unless you want to. But you can start integrating the fisherman's wisdom into your daily life. You can start practicing gratitude, defining your enough, and being more present. You can start choosing peace over the endless pursuit of more. Because at the end of the day, when we look back on our lives, we won't remember the things we owned. We'll remember the moments we shared, the love we gave, and the peace we felt. You don't need more things to be happy. You just need peace. And that peace is already within you, waiting to be uncovered. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on living a more meaningful and peaceful life. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does enough look like for you? Until next time, take care and find your peace.